Every now and again, I get to go in the studio and hang out with my good friend Spud at the radio station. And in this episode, I'm at the radio station dropping some knowledge bombs about the stock market, how to get involved with it, things you should know before you start trading, a quick comparison between what the stock market is like in other industries, and answering some questions from the listeners. So you get to come behind the scenes with me to the radio station. Let's dive into this episode.
We started out today on Money Making Mondays, and today we are talking about investing. You know, I'm starting off the show today with my man Jason Brown from thebrownreport.com. Jason is in the building. He's not green to the show anymore. He's new to the show. He's not new to the show anymore. He's a friend of the show, you know, now. So, Jason, how are you, man? What's up, Jason?
Fantastic. What's happening, Spud?
Man, how you been? How was your year? How many millions did you make in 2017?
You know, they say never tell how many millions you make, and then you'll be susceptible to lawsuits. So, I did okay. I did okay last year.
So for, you know, let's start with, you know, just giving people a refresher from the last time that you were here when people did not, if they didn't get the opportunity to be able to hear that conversation. So, you know, give me a brief update on where you started and how you got, and you know, starting into investing, stocks, trades, and how you became a coach in it.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for having me back, and happy 2018 to everybody listening. I think, you know, what better way than to kick off the new year talking about money,
right,
and how to get involved in the stock market. So for those of you who are not familiar with me, I'm Jason Brown from thebrownreport.com, and when I started investing, there's a few different stories, but I'll give you the condensed version. First, I took about $500, and all I wanted to make was $50 because I worked a weekend job and I made $8 an hour, so $64 on a Saturday. After they took taxes out, it was $50. So I was like, man, if I can figure out how to make $50, then I won't have to work Saturdays anymore.
Right. You're going to get your time back.
You know it. That's it. I wanted to get my time back.
Right.
And so what I ended up doing was I actually ended up making $100, and then I quickly realized, hey, if I had $5,000, I would have made, you know, $500. If I would have had $10,000, I would have made my first $1,000. And so I spent the next year looking at charts go up and down, and I actually took a $10,000 student loan and turned it into a six-figure trading account. And so fast forward, lost a lot of money, made a lot of money, life was good, but people started asking me, you know, how are you making money in the stock market? So I started blogging about it, tweeting about it, and then I just realized that nobody was teaching it the way that I needed to hear it or wanted to hear it. So that's when I started also teaching about the stock market and started the website. And what's unique about it is I'm a real trader with my own real money, and so I share my trades, my thought process, what I'm buying, what I'm selling with my students. So that's really how I got into the game, just trying to figure out how I could not work weekends and how to have my money work harder for me than I could for it.
One of the things on your website that you talk about is never give up, you know, and how do you tell somebody to never give up when you're talking about investing when you're losing money? Because nobody wants to lose money. Because that's a, you know, that's a fear. You know, when because the unfortunate part about, you know, investing and trading and so forth and so on is that people automatically think like, if I invest, I'm automatically going to make money, right? They're not looking at the risk part of it. They're looking at the reward part of it, you know. And so when they take a big hit, you know, like I was reading an article from Damon John from the Shark Tank, and he was like, man, I invested in this company and I lost like $6 million. You know, you would think like, I at least $6 million, I'm not doing anything else ever again. But your philosophy is to never quit.
To never quit, absolutely. And then here's the reason why. You know, I look at the stock market like I look at college sometimes, right? Can you imagine if a kid went straight through college, and I know some kids do, but just imagine that kid that flunked one class. Should he just stop going to college? Should he not pursue his dreams, become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or whatever the case may be? And so the stock market...
It's like Jim Rome, who says, you never give up on the fourth grade, right?
Yeah,
You never
and the stock market is the same thing. Ideally, you want to be taking calculated risks. So that's number one, right? You want to be coming in the game knowing that I know I will take some losses, but my losses have to be smaller than my wins, right? So my wins need to be bigger than my losses, because you're going to take some loss. So it's just about taking small losses, but it's not about never losing. But if you have the attitude that you're going to quit after the first sign of adversity. I mean, how do you ever get married, right? Did you marry the first girl you dated? Did you, not go through college? Did you stay at the first job that you got? So I think it's a mindset thing. You have to think about everything in life is going to have some adversities. You just have to decide if you're going to come out on the other side of that and figure out how to make it work for you. Because the key is, there are people making money in it, so it works for somebody. Right. How do you make it work for you?
Well, I think the misconception is that you can't start small when you're talking about investing, right? Because you look at those people and you're looking at people who are probably investing, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. So what is the entry level when it comes to actually investing? Can I take $100 and make some money? Can I take $500? Is this a low risk? Do I need to start off with penny, stocks? What is the beginner level, entry level for me to be able to say I can take some calculated risk here?
So great question. And the reality is you have to start where you are. See, where I was at over a decade ago was $500 trying to make $50. Okay. And just recently, for example, I posted a trade. I shared it live on Facebook where I made $80,000 in about, let's say 4 to 6 weeks, right? But I didn't start there, right? I started trying to make $50 an hour. So to your point, why do I share that story? The important part is to get started. Most people never get started. Once you get started with whatever you have, and once you get a track record, you develop a track record of winning. Let's just say your track record of winning is 7 out of 10 trades you win. And out of those 7 out of 10 trades, you're averaging 20% or something like that. It doesn't take long for you to realize if you're winning 7 out of 10 times, you're going to be wrong 3 times. And if you add more money to that, it can grow to X amount by 20%. Right. And that's the long game. See, everyone says they only have $50, $100, but that's because you don't know what you're doing. So that's all you're willing to come up with. Right. But if you knew you can get 20% returns 7 out of 10 times, you'd sell your car, you'd sell that video game system, you'd sell your TV. You would do what you had to do to come up with extra money. So the key is get started, learn how the game works, and develop a track record and a percentage of a win and loss ratio and a percent that you say, okay, I'm consistently making 5%, whether that's every month, every 2 months, 3 months. And then it's just a math equation. If I have $1,000 and I'm winning 7 out of 10 times at 20%, I will make X amount of dollars.
How long should I, or should one, actually continue before they go to the next level?
So when you say the next level, you mean
in regards
add more
to
money,
right, add more money. So if I start off with I say, look, I got $100, right? I'm going to take this $100 a week, right? I'm going to take this $100 a week and I'm going to, invest. And then once I start to, develop a track record, how long is that track record? Is that 3 months and I'm starting to see 7 out of 10 wins? Is that 4 months? Is that a month? I don't, so forth and so on. The market is looking at it from a perspective of the corporations are going to have more money in this market to be able to invest. And so that way the market is going higher.
Well, they could invest. So they have more money to keep to themselves. Now, some people think, they can keep more money to themselves. No. That means the company's more profitable. You got companies like Comcast and other companies that announce they're paying bonuses to their people. What do you think people are going to do when they get a bonus? Right. They're going to go out and shop. So if people shop, where do they shop? They shop at Amazon. They go buy a new car. All that stuff stimulates the economy, right? So if these companies are already strong and doing well, they got money that they can retain on the balance sheet. They also got bonuses that they're paying out to their employees. They also can reinvest. They can hire new employees. They can put that money in a new innovation. All of that is forward thinking and saying, okay, if we were able to come back from the worst times to right now, and now we're left with only the strong, and they have more money in their pocket, and they're able to reinvest, and they're able to pay their people bonuses or hire more people, which means unemployment could potentially go lower, more people working, more people paying taxes, more people shopping, more people buying homes, right? So there's a common sense kind of effect to it, and the market is pricing all that in, and we're going to new highs.
So I just want to make sure I got this correct because I'm not that smart. I want to make sure I got it.
No,
so the market is basically saying, right? Analysts and the stock market and so forth are saying, and so forth and so on are saying, oh wow, look, the Trump administration is giving out these tax breaks, right? The tax breaks are all good. We got we got Verizon, AT&T, all these people are now, flourishing. They're giving out tax bonuses. I mean, they're giving out bonuses, so forth and so on. So this means that more people have more disposable income in order for them to be able to shop at an Amazon, a Walmart, a Verizon, AT&T, so forth and so on. So that means more people are going to invest in these companies, and that's what's driving the record highs up.
So not necessarily that they're going to invest, but because most consumers are spending money, these companies actually...
So this is based on consumers, not on investors.
You got it.
Okay, got it.
So these consumers are going out spending money with these companies, which means they're going to be selling more product. They're going to be providing more service, which is going to do what? Increase profitability.
Got it. Okay,
does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Bruce, Southwest, line 1, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Good question. That was a lot of questions.
That was a lot of questions. Right.
Let's see if we can unpack all that.
I was taking mental notes. So let me see. Let's start with the book, Investing for Dummies. I personally, I have nothing against books. Maybe I'll write one someday. But my philosophy is I teach through videos. I feel like when you read a book on Chinese and you don't understand Chinese, you're looking at Chinese still, right? You have no idea what you're looking at. And so what I would recommend is I have a free webinar called Stock Market Secrets. If you go to thebrownreport.com, you'll see it right on the page. It's called Stock Market Secrets. And what we're doing in that is we're walking you through how to read a chart. We're walking you through what are the most important pieces that you should know if you're going to invest long-term or short-term. So for example, you threw out a couple of different things. When you're talking about learning about I think you said earnings, and you said dividends and different things like that. You got to keep in mind, you got to hold a stock for a long time to earn a dividend, meaning they only pay out a dividend once a quarter, so 4 times a year, and then a dividend could be 10 cents. So if you have 100 shares and they pay you 10 cents, I mean, not a lot of money. Does that make sense? So that's not a right now money strategy, but what that is if you got $1 million and you're sitting on these stocks and they pay out 10 cents, that's a whole different ball game, right? So there are certain strategies for when you have a certain amount of money in your account that it makes sense. But for the little guy like you and I, right, if you could take $1,000 and then look at a stock chart and spot the trend, and then buy when the trend is up and then get out when the trend turns around, we have the opportunity to make more short-term cash. And the real secret to high return. So like when I made that $80,000 or so in like 6 weeks, and you can check that out. I did a case study on my website. It's called 80K Profit. What you'll also know, the real secret is learning how to trade options. So options is the ability to control the stock, but not necessarily own the stock. And that's a whole nother ball game when you can control it versus owning it.
Where could I find you at? Because I want somebody, because I looked on YouTube for people, and then I wanted to ask you a question about something called Robinhood when I wanted to purchase it, say it's no fee. But where could I follow you? Because I don't have the Facebook. I'm not with the Facebook. So I was just wondering, could I find you on the brownreport.com? And I know you said you have classes. I don't care if I have to pay. But what I want to know, I can expedite my learning by joining your class versus.
Absolutely. So thebrownreport.com or brownreport.com, doesn't matter how you type it in, you'll come to me. But there's a free webinar, free training called Stock Market Secrets, and then there's a free training called Power Trading with Options, where I talk about how to trade with options, and both of those are completely free to learn how that works. So that's where you can find me at.
With options. Okay. And Power StockMarketSecrets.com and Power.
No. The website is thebrownreport.com. You'll see both of those. Okay. You'll see both of those
underneath the Brown Report
on the website. You got it.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you so very much, Bruce, man. Good luck to you. I appreciate you. I got to go to a break. 313-778-7600. Jason Brown is here from thebrownreport.com. We're talking about investing, trading, in stocks and options and all that other stuff. We're going to talk about retirement. We got to talk about, there's a whole lot of stuff. But if you have a question, you want to learn more, you just got a question about your investing, your 401k, your retirement plan, taxes, whatever it is that you have a question on, Here is the time. Now is the time. Jason is here. 313-778-7600. Fill these lines up.
Money Making Mondays.
Yes, we'll be right back. And let me give you a quick update real quick. I want to let you know that the Word Network has announced Tavis Smiley will be joining the network with a new show called The Upside. So congratulations to Tavis Smiley. Congratulations to the Word Network. We got Tavis Smiley on the largest African-American religious network in the world, The Upside. All right, so don't miss it. Check it out. Going to I gotta find out when it's gonna start. TheWordNetwork.com or either the Word Network to find out when you can see Tavis Smiley on The Upside. We're talking to Jason Brown about investing, stocks, tradings, bonds, everything that you need to know about retiring. Let me ask you this question, Jason. Can you actually retire without investing? Is that likely?
I think it is likely. You have to think about the definition of retirement. It's just being able to have some type of income coming in without working for it. So you can retire if you own some restaurants, if you own some real estate.
So you don't have to be in the stock market.
You don't have to be in the stock market per se. The game is just how can I get money coming in without me always physically having to trade hours for it? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I don't think enough people wake up and ask that question. How can I have money working for me versus me always working for it? That is the key question. So if it's real estate, if it's restaurants, if it's the stock market, find something, some way to get the money working for you versus you working for it.
All right, so let me get back to the investing. Bitcoin. Is that realistic? I mean, there's so much controversy, and then there's like good conversation and there's bad conversation over this whole cryptocurrency thing and Bitcoin. Is this something where people should be putting their money?
So there is no great answer other than this. When you think about Bitcoin, there's so many forms of it, and I'm still learning about it myself, so don't proclaim to be an expert on it. But here's what I do know. There's Bitcoin, there's Bitcoin Cash, then there's all these other coins, and then there's the technology that powers the trading platform, which is called like blockchain, which is basically supposed to be a digital ledger that keeps transactions and matches sellers and buyers, right? Kind of like you would have the New York Stock Exchange, I imagine, matching sellers and buyers with stock. So some people are excited about the actual technology and think the technology can be used inside the marketplace. Other people are speculating that the actual coins will overthrow the dollar or so that's a pure speculation play. And then there's a such thing, I believe it's like Bitcoin Cash, where certain stores actually take Bitcoin as cash, but some people, I believe, confuse that. It's almost like Apple Pay or Google Wallet, different things like that. It's really just kind of like linking your cash or credit card to a digital system to use it as a payment plan. But then there's all these other spin-offs that people are hype about. And the thing about Bitcoin that is interesting is I don't know everyone who tells me they made a killing from it. Like I post my trades publicly. But the people who made Bitcoin, I haven't seen one person who actually sold and pulled out their $1 million or their 100,000. I haven't met one person. Everyone's like, I'm killing and I'm making a ton of money. I'm like, cool, pull it out and show me. Like, pull out the real cash. I just haven't seen that yet. And they don't have to pull it out to prove it to me because I don't care. But I just haven't seen anyone pull it out. Second thing is, I haven't met anyone who can say anything intelligent about it other than Gideon is going up. And I don't make investment decisions like that. Gideon is going up. That's a recipe for disaster where I'm from. So if I don't understand it, I don't do it. And the third thing is, if I'm making money in the real stock market where I can pull out real cash and I'm getting real returns, I'm always shocked that people are using Facebook. They're shopping on Amazon, but they won't buy it. Yet here comes this random thing that nobody can explain, and you don't know anybody who's actually pulled real cash out, and everybody's ready to jump into it. So I don't know where America gets this I want to get something for nothing attitude from, but that's what it feels like.
Is your philosophy to actually invest in the places that you use, i.e. Amazon, i.e. Facebook, i.e. Verizon?
My philosophy is to look at the stock chart and let that determine if something is going up or down. However, if you are at the most basic entry level, it's like, Jason, what's the most simplest advice you can give me? That is the most simplest advice. Invest where you spend your money. If you shop on Amazon and you like their customer service and their platform, it's a good chance everybody else does. It's a good chance that's a good stock, at least for you, because you believe in it. You're using it. That is the most fundamental rule that if you know nothing else, you probably could do well just by looking at that alone.
What about cannabis? Is that realistic? Is that, is that something that is going to die? Is it going to explode with, the cannabis, becoming legalized across the country? And then now with Jeff Sessions, and he's talking about, he wants to recede everything that Obama has done. Is that something that, we should probably be looking into, especially those who do marijuana illegally? So is this something that they need to be like, look, I need to take this illegal drug dealing and make it legal drug dealing?
So, first of all, I think cannabis is here to stay. Different places are legalizing it. So I think it's here to stay. But when you look at the cannabis stocks, they're mostly penny stocks, which are stocks that are under $5. So if you look at the industry as a whole, it's still controversial. It's not legalized everywhere. So I wouldn't just jump on the fad train. If you want to invest in something that has something to do with smoking, I would go tried and true and look at people who make cigarettes. I mean, it's legal. They sell it everywhere. No matter how much they raise the price, people still buy it. Right. They can put a warning label on it that you'll die. People will still buy it. So I would go there. But cannabis, the stocks are here to stay, whether it's cannabis stocks or cigarette stocks. But is that where you want to park your money, in a speculative area that it's legal sometimes, it's legal at the state level, but not at the city level, or it's just too much going on with it for me. But if if that's what you do, you can invest in. Plus, although I don't necessarily always look at what the companies do, there are certain stocks that once I find out what they do, if that's not something I'm trying to support, I have a hard time putting my money there.
Right. So when I'm investing, right, I'm new to it. I'm brand new. I'm listening to Jason on the radio. Jason's got me hyped. I'm ready to go. I got my money together. What do I do next? Because it sounds to me like you're doing a full-fledged background check on the company you're about to invest in. Where I think some people are like, oh, can this pay me the, most amount of money in the less amount of time with the less amount of investment? What is the thought process in actually saying this is where I want to park my money at?
So if you have like $5,000, that was your example, right? So if you have $5,000, I think most people need to carve out 1,000 of that for education.
Okay.
People just think they're gonna come in with the whole 5,000, no education, and get it done. So if you have 5,000, I would just set aside $1,000 for education first off. So now you actually have $4,000 to work with, and you have an education. So that's number one. Number two, you need to decide what's your goal. Do you want to make some right now money or some long-term money? Because that's going to determine the strategy. So if you want to make some right now money, then we're looking at stock charts and we're trying to determine what's moving right now. If you're looking to make some long-term money, that's when we're doing the research on who the company is, what do they do. If you don't care about that and just want some right now money, we're just looking at a chart and saying what's moving right now.
And that's day trading?
It's not day trading, just short-term trading. But you could... Again,
so the most important thing, because I looked at one of your talks, and I thought that it was genius because I was in the same position where you were saying that you had $2,000, you took it to the bank, you had a mutual fund. 2 years later, you made $700, you pulled your money out, right?
No. They lost $1,300, and I pulled out the $700 because I said if I came to the professionals, so-called professionals, and they lost my money, I could lose my own money.
Got it. Okay.
So I took a chance on myself after that.
Okay, got it. Because I was under the impression that, because what I did was I took my money, I put it into a bank, and I put it in a savings, and they're like, oh, yeah, we can get you like 0.10% growth. And I'm like, no, I want to be able to flip my money right now. I want to take this, say X amount of dollars and double it and then triple it and then so forth and so on. And so in your, I guess, philosophy, then I would go into short-term trading.
Absolutely. And think about it like this. Nobody wants to triple and flip your money like you do.
Right.
If the bank could triple and flip money, they're going to do it for themselves, which is why for every dollar you put in, they can loan out 9. Right. So their interest is to increase their wealth, increase their stock for their shareholders. Nobody's more worried about flipping your money than you. People say, well, why don't I get a financial advisor? You got to think about how a financial advisor works. This guy gets 2% off whatever balance he brings over. So if you come over with $5,000 and he makes 2% off that, how well is he going to be able to feed his family?
Right.
So his job is to get people who have 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000, $1 million account so he can make 2% off that. He can't manage those accounts actively. It's to figure out your age, figure out what you do, figure out when you want to go retire, and then they put it in something and they leave it. And they move on to the next person because they got to sell a bunch of accounts. Nobody is more worried about flipping it and actively managing it other than you.
All right, got it. Rodney, line 4. How are you, Rodney?
Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Rodney.
Yeah, 4 years ago, lottery stock, $1.58 a share. So I bought some closing day, 17,000 points.
Awesome. So talk to me.
How much now? How much down this state? Somebody hit the lottery in Florida. How much he hit it for?
I don't know. I think it was $580 million. One of the two. I think it was $500 million. I think.
How much money do you think they took in, Jay? About $1 billion, $2 billion.
Lottery.
Right. You're saying how much money did the lottery make in order to pay that out, right? So they made money off top just by selling tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Spud, if you're going to take a chance, lottery. Stock is a chance. Go with the lottery stock. DVL.TO.
So here's the thing.
I appreciate you, Rodney. Go ahead.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Rodney, and for everybody listening, I think the real key is if you're going to take a chance on yourself. It's all about calculated risk. If you can learn how to take calculated risk, you can be successful in life, right? It's just like going out driving a car. If you drive on a nice summer sunny day, there's a good chance, 99% chance you're going to make it to your destination. If you drive when it's snowing and raining and the roads are covered and it's midnight between midnight and 2 a.m. and drunk drivers are on the road, you just increase your chances that you won't make it home. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing with the stock market. Once you learn the danger zones, the times not to trade, the stocks to stay away from, you can then take a calculated risk on yourself.
And you cannot just guess that. You got to go through the process in order to be able to figure out what to do, what not to do, so forth and so on.
Well, if you're guessing, then you might as well go downtown to the casino.
Right.
But think about the weatherman. Let me put it like this. Think about the weatherman. Does the weatherman guess when it's going to snow or rain?
No.
What does he look at?
Charts.
He looks at a chart.
Right.
He says, what? There's a cold front coming in right here, right? He says, based on this, there's a, what? 78,
right.
99% chance that we're going to have rain, right? Nobody looks at that guy and say, why is he gambling with what I'm going to wear today?
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
He's looking at the charts and he's telling you what he believes is going to happen based on a percentage of I've seen this before.
Right.
But it doesn't always happen, but he's accurate 70%, 80% of the time. And that's the thing. How can you take a calculated risk where you're accurate and right 70, 80% of the time? And the answer is learning how to read stock charts.
Amadou, line 1, Detroit, how are you?
Yeah, good afternoon to you and your guest. He is dropping like some golden nuggets. So I guess I just have a comment. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I grew up in church. Love church. Try to go to church 4 Sundays out of the month. I would like to see, not just in Detroit, but nationwide, places of worship would designate Friday night, Saturday morning for financial literacy, so that we're not behind the 8 ball on everything. I caught the tail end of you guys talking about the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency. I spent the last 3 weeks, my employer doesn't know this, but while I'm at work, I'm reading and researching, and I'm currently reading a book on cryptocurrency. It is new, just like when the internet was introduced in '94. A lot of people didn't think that was going to fly. Personally, I think it's, in the next 5 years, it's going to be the way. Jeff Bezos, the guy that is over Amazon, he's making an announcement February 4th, I believe. And he will give it thumbs up or thumbs down. And if Amazon starts to take cryptocurrency as a form of payment, it's a green light. So, like you were saying, Mr. Brown, everything is a risk. Life's a risk, right? But if we can stand outside of Foot Locker or these other stores in the frigid cold, waiting for the new Yeezys to come out, I would hope that we would invest. And I'm not just going to say, if you don't know, you don't know. You can't fault a man for not knowing. Right.
You know what? I think I can fault a man for not knowing because there's too much information out here, right? Most people are searching for the information.
It's that they're not just searching for it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because it's on their phone. It's that the disposable. It's right there on their phone.
But there's a term. There's a saying. it says that you can lead a horse to water, right? But you can't make him drink. Well, I was a cop for 20 years, and I was in the mounted unit, and an older guy told me this. He said there is a way to make a horse drink, and guess how you do that?
Make it lick salt.
There you go.
Yep.
How did you know that?
I knew that, man. I know that.
So we got to give him the salt.
We gotta give them the salt, and you guys are giving us the salt. You guys are spreading this information. Granted, Hennessy is going to sell, Nike's going to sell. We're going to consume all that other stuff. Why won't we take a day, an afternoon, an hour, and learn about current trends?
Here's the sad part about it. I appreciate your call, Amadou. Thank you so very much. Here's the sad part about it. I remember when Busta Rhymes did Pastor Cavassier, and the stock went up like 1,000%, and nobody in hip hop had any shares. Even Busta Rhymes, no one had any shares in Cavassier, right. And we're all like, "Dang, you made this song, and you could have made millions of dollars just by investing." But again, nobody knew that was even something to even do. That they didn't have anybody to teach them or train them or even give them any salt. Okay, so break this down for me. What's the difference? What's bullish and what's bearish?
So let me just respond to the last caller real quick. I have to get a shout out to Better Trades Life Church over in East Point. Kenneth Glenn connected with those guys, and Pastor Gabrielle over there. They brought me in. They bought a group package, and they actually, I think it was about 40 of their congregation. We actually did a seminar for their congregation and taught them how to trade. So there are churches that are hip to this. I know at Kensington, where we go, they do Financial Peace University, right, which is Dave Ramsey's course. So some churches are doing that. And I would recommend talking to your pastor about that, whether it's me coming in, whether it's somebody else that they trust. I do think it's smart for the churches to bring some financial education into their congregation, because
schools too, colleges too. I mean,
colleges, you name it.
Organizations, not just recreational centers. Every place needs to. Like, I live in Novi, and I was looking at the Novi thing. They send out the little magazine or whatever. They have financial literacy classes, retirement classes, and so forth and so on. So your local recreation center definitely, will be important. So bullish and bearish. What does that mean?
So bullish means you believe the stock is going up. And let's break this down, because I don't know if people know why we call it bullish and why we call it bearish. So bullish means you think a stock or the market is going up, and then bearish means you think the stock or the market is going down, which is why there's a bull and a bear on my shirt right now.
Got it.
And so here's the thing. Most people don't know how they came up with that. Well, a bull, it fights with its horns. Mm-hmm. So when a bull fights, it tries to lift you up with its horns, like stab you and throw you up in the air.
Okay.
Well, how does a bear fight? A
down.
bear swipes down with his claws and tries to swat you down and claw you down.
Right.
So that's why where the term bullish and bearish actually came from. So most people don't know that. They're like, why are there two animals in the stock market, right?
Because I was reading an article, and it said that, that one analyst, said that Barry Bannister says that, 2018 will be flat, but possible a bear market in 2019 and close to a decade of muted returns. What does that mean?
So it means that there's a lot of people that likes to sound smart, because how does he know what's going to happen in 2018, right?
All right, cool.
So I never pay too much attention to the analysts. Those are the same people that'll say, Apple stock, they didn't sell that many phones, I'm rating it as a sell. Then next thing you know, Apple says, we sold more iPhones than we ever did. Those analysts changed their ratings immediately by pushing the button and say, rating Apple will buy. We knew Apple was going to be a great stock. So I don't know any analysts personally, but that's my experience with them when I see them online.
Okay.
So here's the deal. Remember I told you, the market is forward-looking. Mm-hmm. So I let the stock chart tell me if there's going to be flat or bearish. Because guess what? The market's going to start to turn and come out of that uptrend and start to go into a downtrend. And once that happens, I don't need an analyst to tell me. The chart has told me that I need to switch my strategies from bullish to bearish, and we're able to do that with stock options to make money in the down market as well.
All right, Jason, we got to work out something where you can come like once a month, and we got to create. Me and you got to sit down and we got to create an opportunity where you can come like once a month, and then like we can get a discount for people to get into the program, and so that way people can actually learn. Because this is just this is just the surface, but it means the education part of it is good, but we got to be able to move from the education to the activation part, and I want to be able to get as many people activated as possible, so for those people who do want to take the class, the entry level class, or if they're beyond that, and they know, they really want to just learn or get a refresher course, tell everybody how to can get down.
Yeah, so here's the thing. We have, first of all, they can find me at thebrownsreport.com, but we have free trainings if you want to start there, which you should, right, and find out if my style is even your style, right, if you even like how I teach, how I train. But then from there, we got the foundations course, which teaches you how to read stock charts, how to do fundamental research, how to open your brokerage account. Then we got Options Explained, which teaches you how to use options to leverage a small trading account. And then we just released a course called Advanced Options, which is really, if you got $100,000 to $1 million account, you definitely want to know how to use advanced options to bring in some of those higher returns without risking your initial capital. So we have courses for all different levels. And then I actually go live inside our group called Power Trades University. I go live 2 hours a week to our members, and we look for trades. I apply what's taught in all of those courses and show them what I'm buying, what I'm selling, and they get to come on live and ask questions. We record all the sessions in case they can't show up live. So there's really no excuse. We have the whole gamut, and it's ready for them. TheBrownReport.com. You need to check it out.
Jason, thank you so very much, man. I appreciate you.
Well, thanks for having me.
So there it is. It's like you were almost there. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get notified when I release new videos. And feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below if you have a question for me or you just want to share your thoughts about the video you just watched. I'll see you on the next video.